Hey everyone, welcome back to Open. It's that time of the year again. The New York Latino Film Festival kicks off Latino Heritage Month with an impressive roster of 116 films from nearly 20 countries. The New York Latino Film Festival is the premier urban Latino film event in the country. Founded in 1999, the festival produces culturally relevant entertaining experiences that build audiences for Latino cinema, supporting the film community with professional development and fostering relationships for Latino talent. This year, the New York Latino Film Festival returns with screenings, conferences, panels. That culminates with an outdoor event. And here to share more, we welcome an annual Open guest and friend, Calixto Chinchilla, founder of the New York Latino Film Festival, accompanied by director of the short documentary, My Fierce Aunt Bianca, Maria Jose Maldonado. Hello and welcome.
Thank you for having us. Good to be
thank
here.
you.
Good to see you.
Likewise, likewise, likewise. En la brega, como dice.
Yeah.
En la
Yeah.
brega. But you are doing an absolutely fabulous job.
Thank you.
In not only sustaining this platform, enhancing it, expanding it, elevating it, moving it forward, passing it forward.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Calixto.
No, thank you. Appreciate it. And you've been supportive since day one. So you know the beginnings of this.
You know, I just love the movement of it, and I love what it stands for. So let's talk about this year. Let's break
go.
it down. I mean, because this is expansive.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. It's good. I mean, we have, we expanded for 2 more days. So it goes from the 15th through the 24th.
I know. I was like, oh my gosh, I can't say a week
Yeah.
because it's 10 days now. Wepa.
So, it's that. We opened with Cassandro, with Gael Garcia Bernal. It's from Amazon. It's about one of the first queer wrestlers. He was like the Liberace of Lucha Libre. And so we're going to have that. We actually have some Bronx wrestlers that are going to be there for the Q&A and, just to celebrate the moment. He's going to be there. And then we open with Story Avenue from Aristotle Torres. And so you actually had him here when he had a short film.
Right, Aristotle. And that actually stars Luis Guzman,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yes.
So that's going to be a feature. That's our opening night. Luis Guzman is getting the Impact Award. So it's going to be a pretty good night. And then the rest of the festival just kicks off wall-to-wall. Films, events. We actually have our influencer conference, Futuro, for digital content creators. That's going to be on the 16th. And so, we have everything where we touch point, whether you're working in film and television, whether you're working in digital, social media, to being a storyteller, we've got you covered.
That's awesome, right?
Yeah.
So it isn't solely restricted to film and screenings. It's like multimedia.
Yeah, you want to get content creators wherever they live.
Yeah.
And so that's what we try to do.
Well, I know we only mentioned a few, and we can only do that because there's way too many.
Yeah.
If you remember, I announced there's 116 films being screened
lot.
with
Yeah.
Maria Jose Maldonado's being one of them. Congratulations.
Thank you so much, Rhina. First of all, I just want to say thank you for having me. It's an absolute joy to be here.
Well, we're happy to have you. Let's talk a little bit about this short film that is dear to your heart and what this means for you to have it screened at this year's New York Latino Film Festival.
Oh, definitely. The film, My Fierce Aunt Bianca, is co-directed by me and Latavia Young, and it is dear to my heart. It's about my Aunt Bianca, who was a transgender starlet in 90s New York City. She was a sex worker, dominatrix, and she appeared on countless of those infamous 90s daytime talk shows like Jenny Jones, Bill Donahue, Howard Stern, and even on Cristina on Univision back in the early 90s.
I gotta say that takes some real
Commitment.
Yeah, commitment
Yeah.
because from what I saw in the film, she wasn't exactly welcome to every place.
No, she wasn't. She was definitely a transgender trailblazer for visibility. Back then, you didn't really see trans people on the screen, and a lot of these talk shows gave them the platform to do so. And even though it was very exploitative and sensationalized, and people disrespected them a lot from the audience, and even the talk show hosts, my aunt she was just so fabulous. She was just so fierce. She
And
took it in
beautiful.
stride. And beautiful, yeah.
And you actually resemble her.
Thank you.
Yeah, you do.
That's a high compliment. Thank
Yeah, you do. You do. It's lovely.
But it's very much like it feels very therapeutic and healing when you see her going through the footage and honoring her, and like it feels really therapeutic. So
Right. So
thank you
it's
for being
it's
vulnerable.
a 10-minute short,
It's a 10-minute short.
and it's you narrating your experience of, I guess, revisiting this time of your aunt's life.
Yeah, I revisit her past, her legacy. I'm throwing a birthday party for her. It would have been her 57th birthday party. She's a Scorpio.
Nice.
And I am honoring her legacy as a trans woman, but also correcting her legacy as a trans woman. Because a lot of my family and some of her friends still view her as a gang man who dressed up in women's clothing, but she was a trans woman.
Right.
And when I was 10, she died. She died of AIDS-related complications. And my parents took me to go see her in hospice. And I remember, you know, she was going by Bianca then. So a lot of it, and my family, there's a disconnect there, right? We loved her, but we didn't necessarily understand her identity, right? So a lot of the film is healing from that, healing from her loss. I learned at an early age the lifelong heartbreak of losing someone to AIDS, and that stayed with me. So the film was so healing for myself as one of her queer descendants. You know, she used to babysit me. She was like a second mom. So it's a labor of love, and I do it happily.
And this is playing alongside a film called Jeanette, which is kind of the opposite of the spectrum. It's about this woman who who has survivor's remorse because she had survived the Pulse massacre shooting. So literally, you know, between her friends that died, she survived. So she's dealing with that remorse, but also dealing with Hurricane Maria that happens right after that. And then she's trying to have a bodybuilding career and trying to hold her family together at the same time, and just trying to, you know, maintain all that without going crazy. And so that film plays alongside my Aunt Bianca. So it's really about, you know, strong, you know, women, strong people. That whole screening is going to be really good.
So what just stood out for me, aside from the curation that you're sharing, is how important was mental health in your curation this year?
A lot. We thought about it even post-pandemic. It's part of our Futura Digital Conference. We actually have a whole panel that's on mental health. We also have a financial panel.
Financial
again,
too.
it's
That's
like,
good.
you know, because you could be a creative and you gotta we gotta think about money too, right? And so we gotta be to protect the creative. You also gotta protect, you know, your mental space,
Right.
your financial, you know, space.
Yep.
We have to make money, and sometimes as people of color, we don't always value ourselves.
Or we
the
don't
way
even
we
know how
oughta.
to put a price tag on it sometimes.
Sometimes too,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And so it's how do we value that, you know, value our greatness, value our creativity. So, you know, we're definitely creating the spaces to have that conversation at this year's event. And there's a lot of events that are for free. So again, I encourage everybody to look at the website, our digital conferences, anything that's panel related is for free. Like we always felt like information should be, you know, given to the people. And the
love
block
that.
party, we got the block party at the end of
Of
the
course,
festival.
you know, it's like
So it'll be
coming
really
in
good.
a boy bag, because, you know, as Latinos, we got to close it out big.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be really, really good.
And so I got to say, Calixto, you know, it being so many years that we've been doing this, right? In the sense that you come on every year, and it's my absolute honor and privilege to share this with our viewers. But the fact that every time you come back, there is this other level of consciousness in making sure that it isn't just about our stories being told and being seen. It's also about making it accessible to the next generation. So the fact that you said that there's free events for people to cultivate, and whether they're in the industry and or they want to learn about how to get into the industry, it's available. So before we go, I really need you to share how it is that one could go about participating in any or one of the events if they're like, you know, maybe a little intimidated.
Yeah, and I get that. It's, you know, definitely follow us on social, NY Latino Film Festival, and go to the website, nylatinofilmfestival.com. It's a very active community, so there's so many things that we do outside the festival, outside the annual event. But even on our socials, you know, it's a very active, welcoming community. We've hired people from it. We've had people hired from our socials. Every time we openly recruit for stuff. We just finished having an HBO program where we acquired 6 films from Latinos from throughout the country.
That's awesome.
So
That is awesome. That is awesome.
So we're doing that. We're nominated for an Emmy this year.
I know. Congratulations on that. I just knew. How could I not
Felicidades.
mention that? Because you've got the agency sector
We have an
now,
agency, yeah.
in
It's-
which you're producing, right?
Yeah.
As the New York Latino Film Festival.
Yeah. So what we do is it's about equity. So we hire, Latinos, just people of color like that have creativity. And it's like if we work with different brands and you were talking about diversity and inclusion, or we're talking about how we're represented in marketing, then how about you come to the place that has the best storytellers and get us to activate? And so we worked on the COVID campaign for New York City. We worked on the vaccine and the all of that stuff, everything health related for the city. And so we got nominated for an Emmy this year for the booster side of the campaign. So all the buses, all the stuff that you see, that's stuff that we worked on, but that's stuff that we hired different photographers, different people who never worked on commercial work to but are creative as all. So how do we get you to tweak that and work with the brand, or tweak that and challenge you to work on a different level, a different medium.
Right,
So,
because it's really about the network. It's really about being together and cultivating each other so that we're able to go, because you have to stay in his head, right? Or in his space or in his face. I mean, not solely Calixto, just I'm saying the network itself, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't mean it like that, but tú eres el founder, so, and it starts there, is really, right? And that consciousness, which is what we're talking about. It's kind of like, there's a movement going on here.
It's definitely a movement, yeah. I think if you go to the festival, everyone says, even for new people, you think about intimidating. Once you go there, you realize, even from the audience to the filmmakers, and you know this, how supportive it is. Because in those audiences, there's always somebody who had the ambition but is afraid to tap in. And then that moment, whether it's meeting her or meeting another filmmaker, gives them the agency to say, you know what, I think I can do this because she did it or he did it or whatever. And I've seen that story so many times. I mean, look at Aristotle. He came in as a short filmmaker, and now 2 years later, he's got a feature.
That's
in this
amazing.
festival. We were here with you.
I know.
And now he's opening night. So it's like crazy. You know what I mean? But those are a lot of stories like that, and so. And you've seen so many talent that comes from the festival.
Oh, absolutely, and it thrills me to see them grow.
Yeah.
So,
and you never know.
Right, exactly.
I was telling somebody here, I remember Kerry Washington. Before she was Kerry from the Bronx, and she came to the festival.
Yeah.
And
there was
it's
a lot
things
of
like
them.
that. A lot of that.
One day we gotta go through the list of everybody that's come through. Not only the festival, even here, where we can really just share our archives and understanding that we've been a contribution to their growth.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And so continue the path.
No.
Continue on that path, I should say. And I will be alongside you all the way.
Appreciate you.
And thank you for accompanying him, Maria.
Thank you,
Jose
Rhina.
Maldonado. Congratulations on your film screening.
Thank you so much.
Once again, Calixto Chinchilla, founder of New York Latino Film Festival and director of short documentary My Fierce Aunt Bianca, Maria Jose Maldonado. My Fierce Aunt Bianca will premiere on September 23rd, 9:40 p.m. at the New York Latino Film Festival, which kicks off today and will run through September 24th at the Regal Union Square, located at 850 Broadway. For more information on everything we discussed today, the festival, as well as all of the events, panels, and conferences, and don't forget the block party, go visit nylatinofilmfestival.com. Stay tuned, more open when we return.